Hello, 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 beloved souls. How are you? It is Thriving Thursday. It's a healthy, thriving Thursday. So, welcome, beloved souls, and thanks for joining me. I wanted to pull some healing mantra cards, right? Because we are always in a state of healing and growth, right? If you're done, then you kind of transition out. And also, there's just a lot of heavy energy with people just feeling all over the place about their health right now, right? Some places people are feeling really restricted. Some freedoms are being taken away or being threatened to take away because of choices that people are making with their health right now. So, and for those of us that, do alternative healing practices, um, that's a challenge. I mean, it was already a challenge for us to do the work we were doing prior to this pandemic, and now even more so. But I'm also saying more so that people are looking for alternative ways to heal, right? To reclaim their sovereignty, to come back to their selves and their whole and entire well-being, right? So it's a beautiful shift occurring as people are looking for other things, right? So I work with energy, I work with crystals. Um, I've been known as like an earth witch, a kitchen witch, because I'm clairtangent, so I use my hands. A lot of my gifts come through my hands. So whether that's through massage, whether that's through cooking, whether that's me actually touching someone and allowing the energy of God to flow through me for healing to occur in that spot, there's a lot of different things going on. And there's a lot of different ways to heal available to us, right? So there's long-term care, which is what a lot of alternative health is about, right? We're trying to go deep within and trying to figure out why you have chronic pain, why you have a debilitating disease. We're not there to just jump out and like if you break a bone, right, you go to like an emergency room for that. We're there for like the long-term thing. We're there to be like, hey, this doesn't have to be your prognosis. Like you don't have to die in 6 months if you don't want to. There's other ways, you know. So there's crystals. Like I said, I'm always working with crystals. I am a crystally mama. Well, I'm sure you can see because I'm always wearing them in the videos. There's sound. There's a ton of sound modalities and healing bowls and binaural beats available on YouTube. I know I play binaural beats, healing energy music every single night when the house goes to sleep. And it plays next to my pants, my plants. My plants are thriving. My children are doing well. I'm doing well. Right, the whole energy of the house has changed. Using colors, right? There's a whole there's so many different things that you're going to see start coming to the forefront that those of us in the field of energy and spirit have been talking about for a while. And so I'm giving you these healing mantras as another tool, another modality to just help you get through, right? Like help you have something that you can use an affirmation. Things sometimes get like a little tough sometimes. I'm always talking about tapping, as you guys know, because that's one of my favorite things. The Tapping World Summit is actually being played again right now, twice this year. And I've been, even doing even more tapping and having even more breakthroughs going on and things that like I didn't even know, I had block clear that I didn't even know was a block from a simple word choice. Like I caught myself saying something and I realized what I said and how what a low vibrational statement it was, and also that it was attached to a financial block that I wasn't aware that I had. And so tapping and literally just like moving these energies as I was working on something else led to this revelation in my finances, which is going to be a huge shift because I can help more people with the more money that I have. So like I'm excited because I'm like, oh my God, the more I get, the more I can help, right? So it's just like things to do. So I wanted to jump on. I know I said this 5 minutes ago, but give you guys some healing mantras for this week and just give you some messages to just empower you, love on you, pour into you, and give you a happy, thriving Thursday. So thank you to my team of light for being here, the angels, archangels, ancestors, my beautiful ascended masters, the spirit guides, the galactic star families, and any of the beings of healing that are here with us in the collective right now as we just pour into them. Pour life into them, pour healing into them. What messages do we have for the collective on this beautiful, thriving Thursday? awakening, inspired action. Look at the symbol on the card, Jesus. There is only what life is asking of me. There is only what life is asking of me. There is only what life is asking of me. Take a deep breath in, right? So when you have the energy of that card, you are making your decisions from inspired action, right? You're not making your choices based out of fear or need or judgment. You are following your true north, or you're following your compass, and you're only really taking action on things that feel right. And I'm not talking about like scared, because yeah, we're gonna get scared as well, like pushing through the fears and pushing through our own barriers to get to the next level. But I'm talking about like doing stuff just to get it done because you're trying to force, as opposed to like allowing life to lead you and flowing to the next step, right? So you can force your way and make things happen, and that absolutely will work eventually, right? And it can be very tiring, it can be very draining on your body, and it can become very like wearisome. Or you can just kind of get centered and really get grounded and get into alignment with that is what it is that you're truly trying to bring in, and allowing life to kind of like lead you there, and following the synchronicities and following the signs and following those urges, and just when you're inspired to go do something, do it. The other day, I'm trying to get some work done, focus on my project, and I kept hearing like, go to the playground, go to the playground. I'm like, yeah, the kids gotta wait, I'm trying to get this done, right? And I'm grinding, 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 grinding. But England kept getting stronger, that like I needed to go to the playground. And I'm trying to, get this thing done, but then I couldn't concentrate because the feeling was so strong. And I know what that is. I'm like, if you don't do what you're guided to do, you're not going to be able to complete this project, because this is not where this is not where my energy needs to be focused right now, despite what my conscious mind was saying, right? Despite what my ego is telling me, like, we need to get this done, my soul was like, get up and go to the playground. And I'm like, okay. So I get the kids up, and I'm like, all right, sneakers on, go to the bathroom. They're like, where we going? I'm like, I don't know, we just gotta go. Like, I close the computer, I have freaking attitude because I'm trying to get stuff done, but I know better than to not trust my soul anymore. I've learned otherwise. All right, it's a beautiful day. Maybe they just needed some air. Maybe I just need to connect to Gaia. I don't know. We go to the park. I don't really see anything. Whatever. I don't see any other kids. I see a woman kind of looking around in the bushes or whatever, but I don't really see any other kids. So I didn't know why we were there. All right, maybe the kids just needed some air. So I go sit, vibing. So the lady comes in my area, and she like engages me in a conversation. And as the conversation is going by, I realized that I was called there at that moment to pour life into her, because she's someone that's very solitary and kind of alone, and needed to hear God's message, right? And so wherever I go, I allow God to use me to bring his messages through. I tell people all the time, like, if you're gonna hang out with me, no, God's rolling with me. Like, it's always gonna be a party of like two with me. I'm always gonna have someone. I always bring the squad with me. Always got the squad, because I allow myself to be a vessel. So I know that there are times that I have to have a conversation with people. I don't know I have to have a conversation, but there are times where conversations come through me. And this was one of those times. So this was the time that I needed to be there at that moment to pour life into her, and to have that connection, and to have her feel the love of God in that moment. And I didn't know that at the time. All I knew was I was trying to get a project done, and I had a feeling to go to the playground, right? Not, oh, you have a feeling to go have a conversation and this is going to lead to this. No, it was go to the playground. But I followed it, and I'm glad that I did, because it was a beautiful moment, a beautiful awakening for Shia and I. Like, and I got a friend out of it, and we made a beautiful connection, and God was able to come through in that moment, and the kids had a blast because they were in the playground, right? So, like, there's nothing ever without purpose. So you can fight through these things, right? Or you can trust in those inklings that you're getting. And maybe that inkling might be to go to Starbucks. And maybe that inkling might be to go to the playground. Or maybe that inkling might be to make broccoli tonight, right? Like we're intuitive eaters, we're intuitive beings. Like our body knows what we need. Our soul knows what we're trying to desire, and it's going to lead us there in the easiest possible way. So you got to start trusting that. And that's what this energy is about. Trusting that there is only what life is asking of me. Like let life flow through you and stop fighting, stop going upstream. You don't need to. It doesn't have to be that hard. It really doesn't. Suffering is a choice. I don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. Okay, we got two more. Ooh, like growing beyond guilt. Hard conversation, right? It couldn't have happened any other way. Feel that. Feel that. It couldn't have happened any other way. It couldn't have happened any other way. Maybe you wanted it to happen another way. Maybe you wished it would have happened another way. Maybe you're pissed that it happened the way that it did, but it couldn't have happened any other way. And that's a hard conversation when we feel victimized and we've been hurt and we've been traumatized and things happen to us as children that should not happen to anyone, least of all a child. These things occur and we can take from them and grow and develop our spiritual armor and our spiritual fortitude and really get to the next level of our own spirituality and growth to see the bigger picture of these things, to see that we are not the traumas and we are not the pains and we are not those moments in which someone tried to steal parts of our soul or take away our power. We are not those moments, right? We're bigger than that. We're eternal. We're infinite. We're expansive. And so even though these things happen, and maybe you were the one that caused the pain and the trauma and the victimization, right? And maybe that is eating away at you, that guilt, that gnawing feeling. What happened, happened. And the past is gone and cannot hurt you anymore. And so you can take it from this moment and look at it and receive the blessing from whatever that lesson was. And I'm not excusing the the conduits of pain, whether that came through a person, place, or thing. I'm not excusing the conduits of pain. I'm saying look at it and step back and understand that it happened and it couldn't have happened any other way. And you're here right now with that truth and with that strength and with that lesson within you. So now what? Now what are you going to do now that you're empowered from that moment? Now that you realize that that moment can no longer hurt you again. You took your strength back. You took your voice back. You took your power back. Release the guilt because it does not serve you anymore. Right now and forever, I release the guilt. You are not welcome here anymore. It's time to let it go. Get it out of your system, right? Clear your solar plexus. Regain your power. Learned a beautiful trick recently. Oh, let me show you. I'm a big everything energy nerd. Taking our hands, right in our solar plexus, right, on your belly button and your broad line or your chest line, and like a flower, just pulling it open, opening it up, and opening it up. Opening up. Inhale. And then again. Little flower. Open up your flower. Our solar plexus, my beloved, is our power center, right? Like our own internal sun. And so sometimes when we're not standing in like our sovereignty and we're not remembering that we are sovereign beings or that we are majestic or that my hair, I don't know, there's one strand that's driving me crazy. That we are sovereign beings, that we are majestic, that we are powerful and self-empowered, right? We need to be reminded that sometimes our solar plexus is not in alignment. So we need to regain our power. So that's a quick way to clear out that energy and to kind of get you back on track, which is a cute little trick I learned the other day. Listen, I'm a big fan of all things energy, right? Because the universe is made of all things energy. So we can learn to work with the beautiful energies around us. Why not? Why not? And if we can do that quick little thing that takes no time to clear out our solar plexus and to restand in our power and our sovereignty and our majesty and know our worth, why wouldn't you do it? That took no time. None. All right. Sharing shame. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. Look at the geometry. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. For many, many people, your misery is your ministry, right? And so many of us go through trials and tribulations, and we get through them and we're meant to share them, right? And it's not like going around telling the story trying to have a pity party. No, it's like going around telling the story about I went through this trial and I came out triumphant, right? Like I had this test and now it's my testimony. I was a victim, but now I'm a victor. Like these are the conversations that we're having. We're not just sitting there retelling the same story about like what was me? What was me? Oh, I lost my job. I lost my job. My husband left me. My husband left me. My kids hate me. My kids hate me. Like that, and staying on a hamster wheel and just telling that story of cycle of well, life is not going to get better because I keep telling the same story. No, we're here to be like, hey, so when I was young, I was sexually assaulted and I went through a series of really crappy relationships and then I realized and I had to get my power back and I went through these modes for healing and here I am standing in my power, standing as a, a single strong black woman. Like there's things that we went through and I tell all my different stories all over the place. You can read my blogs, you can look at some of the other videos. I'm quick on sharing things because I think it helps to empower people, right? So I don't have shame about being sexually assaulted. I understood that I was sexually assaulted, but I'm not ashamed that I was sexually assaulted. I'm glad that I'm empowered and that I'm sexually empowered and that I'm strong that I took my power back, right? Like I'm glad that like I am like the queen of this pussy. You know what I mean? Like no one owns me. I own myself. I am my own. But it took a while to get there, right? And I went through a series of different things like being sexually assaulted to being like sexually empowered to being promiscuous to just being completely like celibate to like doing all different things. I tell you guys, I went from porn star to priestess. Like this wasn't like a straight line, you know what I mean? Like I had to go through a couple of things to get there. But in getting there and in going through those things, I was telling a story. Like, hey, I used to do porn. Hey, I had a fucked up relationship. Hey, I was cheated on. Hey, I was lied to. Hey, this is what mental abuse looks like. This is what physical abuse looks like. This is what sexual abuse looks like. This is what financial abuse looks like. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that you go through, and you and your tribe, right? And so, as I'm going through things, and the people around me are going through things, and we're all sharing our stories, and we're all being empowered from each other and strengthening each other and learning what to do and not to do in certain situations. Like, that's why you're there to tell. You're not there to tell everybody your business, but you are there to share your story so that your story can help somebody else. You know how many families keep things in the dark? It drives me crazy. How many families keep things in the dark? Like, no, tell your kids about those situations so that they can be empowered and they don't go through it too. You know what I mean? It's like my children will know, obviously, at a older age, they're too young for that conversation right now, but they will know that their mother was sexually assaulted and that their mother is also a freaking warrior. You know what I mean? They're gonna have those conversations. Why? Because you need to know what like healthy sexual relationships look like. You need to know what healthy sexual conversations are. You need to know what like manipulation is. You need to know abuse. You need to know when you don't feel good. You need to trust your body. Like there's a lot of conversations that are gonna be had and these things need to be had. We're having conversations now. Obviously, they're young, but I'm not going too deep. But there's awarenesses, like no one should be touching your private areas. No one should be asking you to touch their private areas. If these conversations are being had, let mommy know. You know what I mean? She might have to take Jesus off real quick and just get back to the hood. You know what I mean? But these are the conversations that have to be had, right? And so as you're sharing these things and you're releasing these guilt, one, find a safe place to share, right? That is ultimately important because unfortunately, some people will not be happy that you're trying to heal, will not be happy with your truth, and are happier when you are miserable or that you have that problem or situation, right? So use your discernment in deciding who to share that truth with, who to release it to. If you feel that you don't have people around you that you can necessarily trust, journal, but start dumping that out of your system and start moving that energy so that it's not being stored in your body anymore. It's time to let it go. It's time to take your power back and it's time to release it. And if you, like I said, if you can't share in a place that you feel safe, i.e., like you don't have any really close friends that you feel like you could talk to, you can journal it out. There's also places on Facebook. There's places like here where we talk. You can talk. You can talk. You can hit me up. My number's here. My email's here. Like literally open up your heart and get it out and find someone. There's groups everywhere, people everywhere that will help support you throughout all of this, right? With whatever it is that you're releasing, whatever it is that you're storing in your body, whatever shame, resentment, bitterness, anger, whatever it is that we need to move through so that you can be the best version of you. There's support systems out there, right? So you got me and my tribe and your angels and your guides and your team of light, and let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. I think it's safe to be in my body. It was at the bottom. Safe to be in my body. Gonna wrap it up. I just want to tell you this before anything else. I love you. God loves you and angels surround you, and you are not alone. And I pray that you are empowered and that you remember your majesty, you remember your sovereignty, that you're making choices based off of your soul's truth and not based out of fear, right? And tap out of the energy of fear. Like separate yourself for a minute from things that just don't make you feel good. If you're watching the news and you're getting riled up all the time, step away, right? If you're listening to podcasts and they're getting your blood boiling, step away. You're not supposed to be with your adrenaline rushing all the time and fight or flight mode all the time. You're not. That's not a healthy way to be. That's why we have so much heart disease in this world. It's not a good look, right? It's time to step away, to just calm, to just get with one with yourself and your body and just see what is my soul's truth right now. I am a being of light. I am the spark, the child of God. I am a spark of the universe right here, right now. And divine well-being is my birthright. So how can I get back into alignment with that? What is my soul's truth to get me back into alignment with my birthright, with divine well-being? Not what someone else's truth is for me. What is my truth? And figure that out. Figure that out for yourself. Answer that for yourself. You deserve it. Your family deserves it. Your loved ones deserve it. Your descendants deserve it. Your ancestors deserve it. Ultimately, you deserve it. Right? I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. Have a thriving, healthy Thursday. Hope these messages blessed you, and I'll see you guys soon. Later.